You could hear a pin drop in our large office. "You're suspended." Marcus, my husband, our CEO, announced it in front of 100 employees. He did it in front of his mistress, the one he just promoted. He expected me to cry, to beg. He did not know he just started a countdown, and by 5 p.m. he would lose everything. My name is Elena Ramirez. It is 9 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, and the air in the main conference room at Thorne Consulting is wrong. It feels thin, pressurized, like the moments before lightning strikes. Marcus called this all-hands meeting only 30 minutes ago, via an urgent one-line email that set the entire Chicago office on edge. People hate surprise meetings. I hate them more. I am 36 years old, the head of client strategy, and I am standing at the very back of the room, my arms crossed, my weight shifted to one foot, watching my husband prepare to speak. Marcus Thorne, our CEO, thrives on this kind of theater. He loves the stage, the hushed anticipation, the rapt attention of his employees. He is not alone up there. Standing just slightly behind him, positioned perfectly in his light, is Julian Vance. Julian, the newly promoted Vice President of Operations. Julian, who has been sleeping with my husband for the past 6 months. I know. I am not supposed to know, but I do. The late-night client dinners that always smelled faintly of her specific, heavy perfume. The shared smiles in leadership meetings that lasted just a second too long. The way his eyes find her when he thinks no one is looking. They think they are subtle. They are clumsy. The room is packed. 100 employees, all silent, all watching Marcus. He clears his throat, and the microphone feeds back with a high-pitched whine that makes everyone wince. "Thank you all for joining me on such short notice." Marcus begins, his voice artificially smooth, the one he uses for investors and bad news. "It has come to my attention that we are facing a critical failure, a severe issue concerning our largest account, Quantum Leap Innovations." My stomach clenches. QLI. That is my account. I am the reason Quantum Leap Innovations is with this firm. I built that relationship from nothing, long before Julian ever set foot in this building. I feel Julian's eyes slide over to me from the stage. She is not even trying to hide her smile. It is a small, tight curve of the lips, an expression of pure, unadulterated victory. She knows what is coming. She planned it. Marcus continues, pacing the stage. This failure represents a significant breach of trust. Data provided to QLI was inaccurate, misleading, and has potentially exposed them to significant market risk. I know exactly what this is. This is the quarterly projections report Julian submitted last week, the one I explicitly warned against. The one where Julian streamlined the data, ignoring the red flags I had flagged in my own analysis. I told Marcus the numbers were inflated, that they were fraudulent. I told him in an email. I told him in his office. He told me I was just jealous of new talent. Now, Marcus's gaze sweeps the room, deliberately passing over everyone until it lands, hard, on me. He locks eyes with me from across the expanse of worried faces. He is actually going to do this. "Due to gross negligence," he announces, his voice ringing with false authority, "which has led to the imminent risk of losing this client. Elena Ramirez is suspended immediately, pending further investigation." The silence that follows is absolute. It is not just quiet, it is a vacuum. The sound of the building's HVAC system suddenly roars in my ears. I can feel the eyes of every single person in the room, my team, my colleagues, the people I mentored swivel towards me. They are a physical weight. I feel the blood rush, hot and stinging, into my face. It is a physical wave of humiliation, so intense it almost makes my knees weak. They want me to crumble. Julian is watching me, her expression a mask of smug, pitying satisfaction. Marcus is watching me, his jaw set, expecting a breakdown. He is waiting for the scene, for the tears. He needs me to be the hysterical, emotional wife so he can be the calm, decisive leader. I will not give them the satisfaction. I was trained for pressure. I thrive in it. I let my gaze meet Marcus's. I do not blink. I hold it, letting him see the cold clarity there, until he is the one who looks away first, shifting uncomfortably on the stage. I uncross my arms, slowly, deliberately. I nod my head once. My voice cuts through the dead silence, perfectly level, perfectly clear. I understand. I turn, not waiting for dismissal. I pick up my personal handbag from the floor and grip my personal cell phone. I do not go toward my desk. I do not look at my team, though I can feel their shocked stares. I just walk. The walk from the back of the conference room to the exit doors feels like it takes an hour. Every step is an effort of pure control. I keep my back straight, my chin up. I can feel Julian's gloating stare burning into my shoulders. I can feel the shock and pity radiating from the rest of the room. I ignore it all. I push the heavy glass door open and step out into the hallway. The door hisses shut behind me, cutting off the stunned silence of the company I helped build. I walk past my desk. I do not slow down, but I see it all. My team, mouths open, frozen in their chairs. They look like they have seen a ghost. They look terrified. Ben, my senior analyst, my most trusted subordinate, looks like he is going to be physically sick. His face is pale, and his eyes, wide with disbelief and horror, meet mine for a fraction of a second. I give him nothing. I cannot. I just keep walking toward the elevators. I press the button for the lobby. The brushed steel doors slide shut, sealing me in. The sterile, quiet box begins its descent from the 21st floor. The second the doors close, the iron control I have held over my body shatters. My knees buckle. I fall back against the cool metal wall of the elevator, my handbag sliding to the floor. My breath, which I have been holding since Marcus said my name, escapes me in a ragged, silent gasp. I brace my hands on the railing. The rage is so potent it is making me shake, not with fear, with a focused, glacial fury. I look at my watch, 9:15 in the morning. I pull out my personal phone, not my company phone, which is probably already on its way to being bricked. Its data wiped, my personal one. I open my contacts, my thumb hovering over a single entry A, G, Alistair Graves, the CEO of Quantum Leap Innovations, the client I supposedly put at risk. I could end this right now with one call. My thumb presses down, but I do not hit dial. Not yet. Calling him now would be reactive. It would be messy. Marcus is expecting me to panic, to call Alistair, to make a scene. A panicked call is a weak call. I need leverage. I need a plan. I need a safe place. The elevator doors open to the bright, impersonal lobby. I walk out, past the security desk, and push through the revolving glass doors onto the Chicago street. The air is cool, and the noise of the city hits me, a welcome shock of normalcy. I cross the street, my heels clicking sharply on the pavement. I do not look back. I walk directly into the artisan coffee shop on the opposite corner. It is loud, smelling of burnt espresso and sugar. I find a small table in the back corner, one that faces the window. From here, I have a perfect, unobstructed view of the Thorne Consulting Building, a glass and steel monument to my life's work, to my husband's betrayal. I order a black coffee I will not drink. The anger is subsiding, replaced by something much colder, much more useful clarity. Last night floods into my mind. I was looking for my keys in Marcus's coat pocket. He was already asleep, snoring lightly, the picture of the exhausted, hard-working CEO. My fingers brushed against a piece of paper, a receipt. Not for a late-night cab, a dinner receipt from Gibson's. It was dated from 2 nights ago, the night he told me he was working late with the finance team. The charge was for $240, 2 steak dinners, 2 glasses of champagne, and 2 Julian's Folly cocktails, the bar's signature drink, the sickeningly sweet lychee martini that Julian Vance always drinks. I put the receipt back. I did not confront him. I just stood there in the dark of our bedroom and understood. This suspension is not about a report. It is not about covering Julian's mistake, though that is part of it. This is a purge. He is pushing me out. Julian does not just want my husband. She wants my job. She wants my life. And Marcus is letting her have it. He is sacrificing me, the co-founder, the strategist, the woman who built this entire client roster to protect his affair and appease his mistress. I open my personal laptop and connect to the cafe's public Wi-Fi. It is 9:25. I have 8 hours until the end of the business day. 8 hours to dismantle the empire I built. I open a secure messaging app and send a single text to Ben. Meet me at the cafe across the street. Now, bring your personal hard drive. Ben is loyal to me, not to the company. And, crucially, Ben keeps his own backups. He is meticulous. He calls it his CYA folder. Cover your ass. Marcus thinks he has neutralized me. He cut me off from the company servers, from my email, from my team. He thinks my power was tied to my title as head of client strategy. He forgot that I am a strategist. He forgot that for the last 8 years, I have not just been building relationships. I have been building escape routes. I stare across the street at the polished Thorn Consulting logo etched into the glass facade. Thorn. It was my idea to use his name. It sounded stronger, more established than Ramirez. I am starting to regret that decision. Thorn Consulting was not born in that sleek Chicago high-rise. It was born 8 years ago, in a cramped, humid studio apartment in Austin. It was born on a second-hand dining table, fueled by cheap coffee and instant ramen, and built on my spreadsheets. Marcus and I were just married, full of the kind of naive ambition that only exists when you have nothing to lose. Even back then, our roles were clear. Marcus was the face. He had the perfect smile, the firm handshake, and an effortless charm that made people want to believe him. He was the talker. I was the brain. I was the strategist, the analyst, the one who worked until 3 a.m. building the financial models, drafting the proposals, and actually creating the product he was selling. He sold the dream. I built the reality. For the first year, we barely survived. We pitched, and we failed. Then came Quantum Leap Innovations. They were our white whale. Marcus tried to get a meeting for months, charming every gatekeeper he could find, all to no avail. They were impenetrable. I got us in. I did it by ignoring the front door. I spent 3 weeks analyzing their market position and found a critical supply chain vulnerability they had overlooked. I sent a simple, unsolicited, 5-page brief not to the CEO, but to a mid-level logistics manager I found on LinkedIn. That manager passed it up the chain. 2 days later, I got a call. Not Marcus. Me. Alistair Graves, the CEO of QLI, was and is a legend. He is notoriously private, sharp, and detests salespeople. He met with me, alone, in a drab conference room. He did not care about Marcus's charm. He cared about the data. We talked for 2 hours about logistics, risk mitigation, and predictive analytics. At the end, he shook my hand. "We are in," he said. And just like that, Thorn Consulting had its first major client. The relationship I built with Alistair was the bedrock of this company. It was never a typical client relationship. It was a partnership built on mutual respect and absolute integrity. Marcus would send him flashy quarterly updates. Alistair would call me afterward to ask, "Okay, Elena, what is really going on?" He trusted me. He once told me, over an early breakfast meeting Marcus slept through, "We are working with you, Elena, not with Thorn Consulting. Never forget that." And I never did. But Marcus did. As the company grew, as we moved to Chicago, as the money poured in, he started to believe his own press. He started to believe he was the genius, that his charm was the asset, and that my strategies were just ancillary support. The man I married, the partner who shared ramen with me, faded. He was replaced by the CEO, a man who saw me less as his partner and more as his most reliable and most critical employee. Then, 6 months ago, he hired Julian Vance. I saw her for what she was from day one. She was all style, no substance. Her reports were glossy and shallow, filled with buzzwords but devoid of real data. Her numbers were always slightly too good to be true. I ran my own analysis on her projects. The numbers were not just optimistic, they were fantasies. They were lies. I went to Marcus, not as a wife, but as his head of strategy. I showed him the discrepancies, the fabricated projections, the client feedback she had clearly buried. She is a danger, Marcus. I warned him. She is committing fraud. He barely looked at my report. He leaned back in his expensive leather chair, the one I picked out, and gave me a condescending smile. You are just jealous of new talent. Elena, you need to stop being so rigid. She brings a fresh energy. That was the moment the last bit of warmth I felt for him died. It was not just the affair. It was this. He was not just fooled by Julian. He was not just captivated by her charm or blinded by the affair. I looked at him and I realized the cold, awful truth. He needed Julian. He needed her because the company's growth had stalled, and he was too arrogant to admit it. He needed someone willing to make the numbers look good, as he always pressured me to do. He needed someone who would do the dirty work, the lying, the faking, the very things my integrity always refused to do. He did not hire her despite her flaws. He hired her for them. My loyalty to the truth, the very foundation I built QLI and this entire company upon, was no longer an asset to him. It was a liability. It was a threat. My integrity made me the target. I sip the bitter, cold coffee, looking at the building across the street. He thinks my integrity is my weakness. He thinks he has suspended the problem, but my integrity is my weapon. It is exactly 10 o'clock. The cafe door swings open, and Ben almost runs inside, the bell above him jingling frantically. He spots me in the back corner and navigates the tables, his laptop bag slung low over his shoulder. He looks awful. His face is pale, clammy, and his eyes are wide, darting around as if he expects Marcus or Julian to be hiding behind the counter. He slides into the booth opposite me. Elena, he whispers, his voice strained and cracking. This is insane. It's chaos up there. Julian is already trying to access your files. Marcus is in a closed-door meeting with legal. He unzips his bag and pulls out a slim, black external hard drive. I have it. The drive. It's got the full QLI archive, the raw data, all your historical analysis, the backups you told me to keep. He places it on the table between us like it is a live grenade. I do not touch it. I just look at him, my gaze steady. The hot, humming rage I felt in the elevator has cooled, hardening into something sharp and precise. Ben, I say, my voice perfectly calm. The stillness of it seems to steady him. Look at me. Do you trust me completely? He hesitates, not out of doubt, but out of a very real, very rational fear. He knows what I am asking. This is not about friendship. This is about his mortgage, his career. He swallows hard, then nods, his gaze firming up. Yes, absolutely. You know I do. Good, I say. I slide a folded paper napkin across the table. I need you to do something for me, but I need you to understand that once you do it, there is no turning back. If you stay at Thorn, you might be fine. You can lay low. If you come with me, you are taking a massive risk. You need to choose. Right now. He looks down at his hands, then back at me. His expression hardens. He threw you to the wolves, Elena, after everything you did for that place. For him. I'm with you. I nod, satisfied. Open your laptop. Use the drive. I do not want this napkin back. He unfolds it. Written on the inside, in my neat block print, is a list of 6 names. 6 of the best analysts, strategists, and data scientists at Thorne Consulting. My real team, the ones who are loyal to the work, not to the name on the door. Send an email to those 6 people, I instruct, keeping my voice low. From your personal account to theirs. Tell them I am starting a new company. Tell them the launch is today. Tell them I have room for them, and I will double their current salary. That is all. Ben's eyes widen as he reads the names. This is half the department. This is the good half. Exactly. Get to work. As Ben frantically types, setting up a secure hotspot from his phone, I pick up my own phone and my untouched coffee. I will be right outside. I step out onto the sidewalk, the city noise washing over me again. I turn away from the street, facing a brick wall for a small illusion of privacy. I open my contacts. My thumb hovers, just for a second, then presses down. A, G. It rings once, twice. Graves. His voice is always abrupt, no pleasantries. Alistair, it is Elena Ramirez. Elena, he says, just my name. He is waiting. I take a steadying breath. I will not badmouth Marcus. I will not sound emotional. I will not be the hysterical wife. I will be the strategist. I will just state the fact. Alistair, I am calling to inform you of a change in my professional status. As of 9:15 this morning, I am no longer employed by Thorne Consulting. The silence on the other end of the line is heavy. It is absolute. It stretches for 5 seconds, then 10. I can hear the faint sound of traffic in the background on his end. I wait. I do not fill the silence. Finally, his voice returns, but it is changed. It is several degrees colder, and the casual abruptness is gone, replaced by a deep, formal chill that I have never heard him use with me. Then, Ms. Ramirez, Alistair Graves says, as of this moment, we are no longer working with Thorne Consulting either. My knees feel weak again, but this time, it is not from shock. It is from adrenaline. Alistair, I start, but he cuts me off. I assume this is regarding the QLI projections report, he says, his voice like flint. Yes, the critical failure, Marcus announced. I am aware of the failure. Elena, he says, and the ice in his voice is sharp enough to cut. I have been aware for 72 hours. I spotted the fraudulent data the moment it hit my desk. My blood runs cold. You knew. Of course I knew. The projections were optimistic nonsense. Julian Vance's clumsy signature is all over them, right down to the fabricated growth percentages. I have been sitting back, waiting. I wanted to see what kind of man your husband was. I wanted to see if Marcus Thorne was a fool or a crook. I wanted to see if he would identify the error and correct it, or if he would try to bury it. I close my eyes. The betrayal is so clean, so stupid. He chose to bury it, I say, my voice flat. He chose to cover for Julian and fire me. He chose poorly, Alistair replies. He just proved to me that he is both a fool and a crook, and I will not have my company's reputation associated with either. Another pause. I hear the distinct sound of him typing on a keyboard. I am terminating our contract with Thorne Consulting, effective immediately, citing breach of contract and fraudulent representation. But that leaves me with a problem. Elena, I still need a strategist. I need my strategist. I open my eyes. The city seems sharper, the colors brighter. I need a new contract on my desk by 4 p.m. today, Alistair states. It is not a request. It is an order. With your new company, I assume you are forming one. I am, I say, my voice matching his new, cold tone. Good. I want the same terms, but I am adding a 10% hazard clause for the trouble. Send it to my personal email. I will sign it by 5. He hangs up. I stand there for a moment, the dead phone in my hand. He knew. He was testing Marcus, and my husband, in his arrogant, clumsy attempt to discard me, just failed the biggest test of his career. I turn and walk back into the cafe, the cold fury now replaced by a white-hot, Singular focus. I slide back into the booth. Ben looks up from his laptop, his face still tense. It is 10:30 in the morning. Ben, stop what you are doing, I say. He freezes. What is it? What did he say? We have our first client, I say, my voice a flat, hard blade. It is QLI. Alistair is terminating his contract with Thorne and signing with us. Now, we need a company. Ben's jaw drops. You. How? QLI, that is half the firm's revenue. I know. Now, we move. I pull out my phone and stand up. Pack up! We are leaving! While he shoves his laptop and the precious hard drive into his bag, I make my first call. My phone is already on my lawyer's contact. Michael, I say the second he picks up. Elena, what is wrong? I saw your husband's name on my caller ID about 10 times this morning. I figured something was… Michael, I need you to listen to me very, very carefully. I need an LLC registered in the state of Illinois. The name is Ramirez Strategic. I need it done, not now, but 5 minutes ago. File it expedite. I will pay whatever it costs. Elena, what is going on? Are you… I am fine. I am also unemployed as of 9:15 and starting my own firm as of 10:30. I have a $50 million contract waiting for a signature, and it needs a company name on it by 4 p.m. Get it done. I hang up before he can argue. I am already dialing my second number. A friend from business school who runs a high-end co-working space in the Loop. Jen Elena Ramirez, I have a crisis and an opportunity. I need an office. I need it furnished for a 10-person team, and I need it active starting at 1 p.m. today. Top-tier internet, private server room, the works. Bill, my personal Amex. Elena, is this a joke? 1 p.m. that is in 2.5 hours. It is not a joke. Jen, and if it was, I would not be making it. You have that empty suite on the 42nd floor, the one the tech startup defaulted on. I will take it. Double the deposit. Just have the keys and the Wi-Fi passwords ready for me and my associate. A beat of silence. You are serious. Okay. God. Okay. I will have it ready. 1 p.m. I hang up. I look at Ben, who is staring at me, his bag clutched in his hand. Let's go. We are on the street, hailing a cab. When I make the third call, Sarah, my best data analyst. She is brilliant, fast, and currently on maternity leave. She picks up on the second ring, a baby fussing in the background. Sarah, I know you are on leave, but… I already heard. She cuts me off, her voice sharp and angry. Ben's email just came through. Marcus is a goddamn idiot. I am sending my resignation right now. What do you need? The relief is so strong it almost makes me dizzy. I need the real QLI data, the clean set. The analysis I asked you to run last month, the one Marcus said was too pessimistic. I never deleted it, Sarah says, a grim satisfaction in her voice. I backed it up on my personal cloud the second Julian started sniffing around. My baby is asleep. I have 3 hours. Send me a link to a secure server. You will have it in 30 minutes, I say. Wow, welcome to the team, Sarah. We get to the new building. It is all glass and polished concrete, aggressively modern. Jen meets us in the lobby, hands us 2 key cards, and just points to the elevators. It is all yours. Good luck. Elena, go burn him to the ground. The office is perfect. It is empty, sterile, but it smells like new carpet and opportunity. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlook the Chicago River. It is 12 o'clock. Ben is a whirlwind. He gets the temporary server running, connecting to Sarah's remote setup. She is already sending him the clean data files, the real numbers that Julian and Marcus tried to bury. We do not waste time. We do not mourn Thorne Consulting. We work. We sit at an empty white conference table, and we start drafting the new contract for Quantum Leap Innovations. It is not a copy of the old one. It is the one I always wanted to write. It is leaner, more aggressive. It cuts all the fat Marcus insisted on, all the billable hours for synergy meetings and brand alignment. It replaces them with the new, bold strategic pivot I had proposed 3 months ago. The one Marcus said was too risky. The one Julian called academic. My laptop, plugged into the new, screaming fast internet, dings, an email. It is from one of the names on my list, a simple resignation letter addressed to Marcus Thorne. At the bottom, a single line, I am on my way. Another ding, and another, and another. 4 emails, 4 resignations. I look at my watch. It is 1 o'clock. I look at Ben, who is typing furiously, a small, fierce smile on his face. Ramirez Strategic, I say, testing the name out loud. As of 1 p.m., we have a downtown office, 7 employees, and a $50 million contract sitting in our draft folder, waiting for 4 p.m. At 1:30 in the afternoon, the world, for Marcus Thorne, was perfect. He and Julian were tucked into a high-backed leather booth at a downtown steakhouse. The lights were low, the wood was dark, and the champagne in his glass was cold and expensive. Julian, across from him, was radiant. The shadows of the morning Elena's blank face, the shocked silence of the staff were gone, replaced by the glow of victory. Marcus raised his glass. A toast, he said, his voice smooth and confident. To the end of a long overdue era, to new beginnings. Julian touched her glass to his, her eyes sparkling. To new leadership. As he was about to sip, his phone vibrated violently on the table, a sharp, insistent buzz. He frowned, annoyed at the interruption. It was his assistant, Emily. He almost ignored it, but her name flashed again. A second call immediately after the first. A surge of irritation went through him. He answered, his tone clipped. This had better be important. Emily. He did not hear a greeting. He just heard a thin, trembling voice on the verge of tears. Sir, Mr. Graves's office just called. From Quantum Leap. They are terminating the contract. Marcus's throat closed. What did you say? They are terminating the contract, effective immediately. The email just came through from their legal department. They cited breach of trust and... Marcus sputtered, choking on the sip of champagne he just took. He coughed, slamming the glass down. That is impossible. It is absurd. Alistair would not do that. Elena must have screwed something up on her way out. Get her on the phone. Call her cell. Tell her to fix this right now, or I will. I cannot, sir. Emily's voice broke, escalating into full-blown panic. I cannot call her. You told me to lock her out. Her email, her credentials. They were all deactivated at 9:30, just like you ordered, sir. That is not all. What? Marcus snapped, pushing back from the table. Julian's triumphant expression had vanished, replaced by a pale, painted-on confusion. Her team, Ben, Sarah, and 4 others, from her core strategy group, they just sent a mass resignation email. They all resigned, at the exact same time. They are gone. The blood drained from Marcus's face. The dim, warm restaurant suddenly felt freezing cold. We are coming back. Now. He threw a handful of cash onto the table, far more than the bill, and grabbed his coat. He stormed out of the restaurant, Julian scrambling in her heels behind him, her face a mask of naked fear. What is happening? Marcus. What did she do? Julian asked, her voice high and thin. She is trying to scare us. Marcus snarled, jabbing the elevator button in the lobby. She is throwing a tantrum. But the bravado in his voice was gone. He was pulling up his own phone, his thumb shaking as he dialed Alistair Graves's personal number. It rang once. Then, you have reached the voicemail of Alistair Graves. Marcus cursed and hung up, immediately dialing Elena's personal cell. He had not called this number in months. A cool, automated voice met his ear. The number you have dialed is not accepting calls at this time. Blocked. She blocked him. The cab ride back to the office was a silent, frantic blur. When they burst through the main doors of Thorne Consulting, the atmosphere was not one of work. It is one of utter chaos. The open plan office was buzzing, but no one was working. Small groups were huddled together, whispering, and the entire sprawling section of desks belonging to the client strategy division is empty. Not just empty, but dark. Monitors are off. Chairs are pushed in. It was a graveyard. Marcus stormed into his glass-walled office and slammed the door, immediately trying Alistair again. Voicemail. Julian, now desperate, rushed to her own desk. She was trying to help. She was trying to save herself. She called her mid-level contact at QLI, a director she had spent weeks charming. He answered, his voice wary. "Julian, I cannot talk." "David, thank God," she gushed, her voice falsely sweet. "Marcus is just trying to reach Alistair. There has been a terrible misunderstanding about Elena. And—" "Julian," the man interrupted, his voice now flat and cold. "I mean it. I cannot talk to you. All communications regarding this matter are being handled directly through Mr. Graves. Do not call this number again." The line went dead. Julian stared at her phone. She looked up at Marcus, who was standing in the center of his office, his tie loosened, his face ashen. He was staring through the glass wall at the dark, empty desks. He was staring at the void where his most profitable, most stable department used to be, and the horrifying, sickening realization crashed down on him, sucking the air from his lungs. Quantum Leap Innovations was never his client. It was not Thorne Consulting's client. It was Elena's. It was always, only, Elena's. It is 2:45 in the afternoon. Our new office, the headquarters of Ramirez Strategic, is thrumming with a quiet, focused energy. The 4 other team members who resigned have arrived, their faces a mixture of adrenaline and determination. We are all gathered around the white conference table, the final draft of the new Quantum Leap Innovations contract glowing on the main monitor. Ben is reading a clause out loud, his voice steady. Section 5. Subsection B, all strategic analytics will be routed through the primary strategy team, bypassing all executive. His personal cell phone, sitting on the table, buzzes to life. A raw, jarring sound in our quiet bubble. We all look at it. The screen shows an unknown Chicago number. Ben frowns, picks it up. "Hello." He listens. His face goes from confused to pale. His eyes widen, and he looks directly at me, a silent, panicked apology in his gaze. He puts his hand over the receiver. "Elena," he mouths, his voice barely a whisper. "It's him. He got my number somehow. He's asking for you." I feel a cold, satisfying calm settle over me. The entire team is silent, watching. I reach out and take the phone from Ben's hand. I do not bother to say hello. I just press the phone to my ear and wait. For a second, there is only the sound of ragged, desperate breathing. Then Marcus's voice explodes through the speaker, so loud and frantic I almost pull the phone away. "Elena. Oh my God, Elena, thank God. What did you do? You have to fix this. You have to fix this. Now, you have to call him." I let him finish. I look out the window at the river, 20 floors below. My voice, when I speak, is so cold it surprises even me. It sounds like a stranger's. "Fix what?" "Marcus. I'm suspended. Remember, you made it very clear in front of 100 people. I am not to have any contact with clients." "Stop it. Stop playing these games." He screams. I can hear the thin, reedy sound of Julian in the background, probably crying. "This is not a game. You are destroying the company. This is our company." "Elena, everything we built. 8 years, you are burning it to the ground. It stopped being ours a long time ago," I say, my voice cutting through his hysteria. It stopped being ours when you started sleeping with your subordinate. It stopped being ours when you chose your mistress over your partner. It stopped being ours when you humiliated me to protect her lies. You made this yours. Marcus, so this is your fire. You put it out. The screaming stops. It is replaced by a choked, pleading sound. The shift is so abrupt, so pathetic, it turns my stomach. Elena, please, he whispers. Baby, listen to me. I am sorry. Okay, I am so sorry. It was a mistake, a terrible mistake. I will fire Julian. No, I say. What, yes? Right now, I will fire her right now. You can listen. I will do anything I will. I will double your salary. I will triple it. I will make you COO, whatever you want. Just please, please, call Alistair. Tell him it was a misunderstanding. Tell him you were stressed. Tell him anything. Just get him back. Please. Elena, we are ruined. I look around the table. At Ben, at Sarah, who is logged in remotely, at the 4 other brilliant minds who left everything to follow me. I look at the contract on the screen, the bold, smart, aggressive plan he was too stupid and too cowardly to ever approve. A small smile touches my lips. It is a smile with no warmth, no humor. It is a smile of pure, surgical precision. You still do not get it, do you, Marcus? I say softly. You are standing in the wreckage of a house you set on fire, and you think you can offer me a room in it. You have nothing to offer me, nothing I want. For a moment, there is only stunned silence. Then, the pleading vanishes, replaced by the cornered, snarling rage of the man I truly married. You bitch, he hisses, his voice thick with venom. You planned this. If you do not come back, I will sue you, I swear to God. I will sue you for everything you have. I will tell Alistair you stole proprietary data. I will tell him you were the one who committed fraud. I will ruin you. Elena, I will see you in court. The threat hangs in the air, empty and weak. He has nothing. I have everything. Fine, I say, my voice still perfectly level. You do that, but you should probably get your lawyers started soon. I have a meeting at 4 o'clock. I press the end call button. I hand the phone back to Ben. The room is silent. Everyone is staring at me. I turn my attention back to the monitor. Now, I say, let's review the compensation clause one more time. I think we can add a 10% hazard fee. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. The echo of Marcus's desperate, snarling voice seems to hang in our new, sterile office. The other team members who have arrived are standing rigid, their faces pale. Ben, who took the brunt of the call, is leaning against the wall, looking shaken. Elena, he says, and his voice is just above a whisper. He sounded unhinged. He meant it. Can he actually sue us? Can he claim we stole the QLI account? He can tie us up in litigation, bleed us dry before we even get our payroll set up. I look at him. I look at the small, brave team that has gathered around me. These people who have just taken an incredible leap of faith. They look like soldiers 5 minutes before a battle, and they are looking to me for orders. He will not, I say. My voice is quiet, but it cuts through the anxiety in the room. How can you be so sure? Asks one of the analysts, a woman named Maria. He is desperate. Desperate men do stupid things. Oh, he will do stupid things. I agree. But he will not sue me, because he knows if he does, I will file my response with the court. And my response will include this. I turn to my personal laptop. I plug in my personal drive, the slim, brushed aluminum drive that I carry in my purse, the one that has never, not once, touched the Thorn Consulting Network. I type in my 24-character encryption key. A single drive icon appears on my desktop. I double-click it, and a single folder appears. It is titled Insurance. I created this folder 3 months ago, I say, my voice level, methodical. I am not a wife anymore. I am not an employee. I am a strategist executing her final move. I created it the day Marcus first told me I was being rigid about Julian's projections. Ben moves closer to the screen. Is that client data, Elena? If you took... I took nothing proprietary. I cut him off. What we are using to build the new QLI proposal is the clean data Sarah backed up for her own records, combined with the strategic models I built on this laptop, on my own time. No. This folder does not contain client data. It contains his data. I click the folder open. It is meticulously organized. This, I say, opening a subfolder filled with PDF email chains, is the proof of Julian's fraud. I open one file. It is an email from me to Marcus, dated 2 months prior. The subject line is Urgent QLI Data Integrity. My email, I narrate, states, Marcus, the numbers Julian has submitted for the quarterly report are inflated by a minimum of 30%. They are factually incorrect, and they promise growth that is impossible to achieve. We cannot, under any circumstances, send this to Alistair Graves. I scroll down, and this, I say, is his response. The one he sent to Julian, but accidentally copied me on. Julian, let's make these numbers look better for the executive summary. Elena is getting bogged down in the details. We need to show aggressive growth to justify our new fee structure. Just get it done. He recalled that message, Ben whispers, his eyes huge. He did, I say. 30 seconds later, but not before my personal email server, which I pay for myself, archived it. I close the file. I have 4 more chains just like that. Each one contains my written warning and his written directive to ignore it. This is my defense. He cannot sue me for stealing a client I was trying to protect from his own fraud. He knows that, but he is betting I will not use it because it would destroy the company we both built. He is betting on my sentiment. I look at their faces. He is betting wrong, and he has no idea that I have something much, much worse. I move my cursor to the last file in the folder. It is not an email. It is an audio file. Meeting notes. Exec. Last week, M4A. Last week, the final review meeting for this report. Just me, Marcus, and Julian. He knew I was going to refuse to sign off on it. He thought he could bully me. He did not know I had my phone's voice recorder running in my lap. I press play. The small laptop speakers fill the room. My own voice is first, tight and arguing. Marcus, I am telling you, Alistair Graves is not a fool. He reads the footnotes. He will see this discrepancy in the projections within 5 minutes. Then, his voice, my husband's voice, smooth, arrogant, and utterly damning. Listen, Alistair is old. He is checked out. He runs a multi-billion-dollar company. He is not going to check the details. Just fake the report. Make it look good. We just need to get through the quarter. There is a rustle, then his voice drops, becoming cold and menacing. Elena, you need to be less rigid if you want to advance in this company. Stop being a roadblock. Just sign the damn thing. I press stop. The silence in the office is absolute. No one is breathing. Ben looks like he might throw up. He said, "Fake the report," Maria whispers, horrified. He did, I say. I open my email client. A new message. To Alistair, Graves QLI, com. From Elena, Ramirez Strategic, com. Subject reference material for our 4 p.m. meeting. My fingers fly across the keys. I attach the email chains. I attach the audio file. Then, I type one sentence in the body. Alistair, this is the gross negligence I was suspended for this morning. See you at 4. I look at my team. He threatened to sue me. He thinks I am going to use this to negotiate for a better severance package. He thinks I want my old job back. My cursor hovers over the send button. The clock on my screen reads 3:05 p.m. He is a fool, I say, and I click the mouse. Let's print the contract. It is time to go. It is 3:45 in the afternoon. I am standing in the lobby of the Quantum Leap Innovations Global Headquarters. It is a cathedral of glass and steel, a silent, towering monument to real power, the kind that does not need to shout. The lobby is vast, floored in black marble, and the only sound is the quiet digital whisper of the stock tickers on the wall. I am still wearing the same clothes I put on this morning: the charcoal gray suit, the silk shell, the uniform of my public execution. When I put it on, I was Elena Ramirez, head of client strategy at Thorne Consulting. I was a wife, a partner. When I was thrown out in it, I was a victim. Now, standing here, the fabric feels different. It is not a suit, it is armor. Alistair Graves is waiting for me by the main security desk. He is not with an entourage. There are no lawyers, no assistants. He is just standing there, a tall, imposing man in a perfectly tailored suit, watching me walk toward him. He does not smile. He does not offer condolences or small talk. He just looks at me, and for the first time today, I feel like I am being seen by an equal. There is a profound, quiet respect in his eyes that is more validating than any apology. "Ms. Ramirez," he says, his voice a low rumble in the vast space. "This way, please." He turns, and I follow him. We walk in silence, our footsteps echoing on the marble, through a set of imposing glass doors and into the main executive boardroom. The room is vast, dominated by a single, massive slab of dark wood that serves as a table. At the far end, overlooking the Chicago skyline, 2 documents are laid out, perfectly parallel. Alistair gestures for me to sit. He remains standing, looking out the window for a moment before turning back to me. "I listened to the audio file," he says, his voice flat, devoid of emotion. "So did our entire board of directors. Your husband is a fool." He pauses, his gaze locking with mine. "We are not just terminating our contract, Ms. Ramirez. We are actively reviewing all legal actions against Thorne Consulting for criminal fraud. The audio file is now in the possession of our general counsel. Your husband did not just lie. He attempted to commit a deliberate, premeditated crime against our shareholders." My heart is pounding, but my hands are steady. I say nothing. I just listen. "He tried to treat me like an old, checked-out fool," Alistair says, a flicker of cold anger in his eyes. "He found out I am not." He gestures to the papers on the table. "This is the contract for Ramirez Strategic. I have had my team review your proposal. It is precisely what I have wanted for the last 2 years. The strategy Marcus Thorne called too risky is the only one that makes sense." I look down at the signature page. I scan the terms. They are what we drafted, but they are not identical. He has improved them. The retainer is higher, the performance bonuses are larger, and, as he promised, he has added a new line item, a substantial risk and integrity fee, a one-time payment that is, by itself, more than my entire salary at Thorne Consulting. "You saved this company from a significant legal and financial disaster, Ms. Ramirez," Alistair says, his voice softening just a fraction. "You did so at great personal and professional cost. We at Quantum Leap reward integrity. This is your reward." He pushes a heavy, gold-plated fountain pen across the polished wood. It glides silently and stops directly in front of me. I pick up the pen. It is heavy and cool to the touch. I uncap it. I look at the clock on the wall. It is a simple, elegant digital display. It reads 4:51 p.m. I lean forward and, with a steady, unbroken hand, I sign my name, Elena Ramirez, on the line marked President and Founder. Ramirez Strategic is now, officially, in business. Its founding client is Quantum Leap Innovations. It is 4:55 in the afternoon. I push through the heavy glass doors of the QLI headquarters and step back out onto the street. The air is cooler now, and the Chicago sky is beginning to bruise with the first colors of sunset. The world seems sharper, the sounds of the city clearer. I feel a profound, quiet calm. The shaking is gone. The rage is gone. All that is left is the clean, cold certainty of the end. I stop on the sidewalk and pull out my personal phone. I have not looked at it since I handed it to Ben. The screen flares to life. 32 missed calls. Most are from Marcus. Several are from his assistant's number. A few are from other senior partners at Thorne Consulting, men who have not dialed my number directly in years. They know, or at least, they are beginning to understand. I ignore the calls. I open my email client. A new message. My fingers are steady as I type in the recipient list. To all staff at Thorne Consulting, com. My thumb hesitates for only a second. This is the last bridge, and I am not just burning it. I am dousing it in gasoline and throwing a match. I press Select All. Then, I move to the CC line. CC Marcus, Thorne Consulting, com, Julian, Vancy Thorne Consulting, com, Legal Thorne Consulting, com, Leadership DLE Thorne Consulting, com. I type the subject line, my new company's name, a strange and wonderful taste on my tongue. Subject career announcement launching, Ramirez Strategic. I begin to type the body of the email. My message is not emotional. It is not an attack. It is a simple, factual press release. To my former colleagues, as many of you are aware, my employment was suspended this morning during an all-hands meeting. I am pleased to announce that this has created an immediate and exciting new opportunity. I am launching my new consulting firm, Ramirez Strategic, effective today. As of 5:00 p.m., our founding client will be Quantum Leap Innovations. I pause. I look at the sentence. It is perfect. It is a statement of fact that will land in their inboxes like a declaration of war. Now, for the final piece. The ace I have held all day. The one that moves this from a corporate departure to a corporate execution. I click the paperclip icon. I navigate to my personal drive. I select the folder named Insurance. I select the audio file, Meeting Notes, Exec, Last Week, M4A. I attach it. I can picture the scene. The notification sound echoing across the open plan office. The confused clicks. The dawning, collective horror as my husband's voice, the voice of their CEO, fills their headphones, clear as a bell. Listen, Alistair is old. He is checked out. Just fake the report. Elena, you need to be less rigid if you want to advance. It is not just a resignation. It is a grenade. It is evidence. It is the end of his career. It is the end of Julian's. It is the end of the company in its current form. I add the final lines to my email. My team, including Ben Carter and Sarah Jenkins, who have joined me as senior partners, is already growing, and we have several key positions open. We are looking for the best talent in Chicago. This email serves as an official invitation to anyone who values integrity and data-driven results. Sincerely, Elena Ramirez, founder. Ramirez Strategic. I look at my phone's clock. It is 4:59 p.m. I wait 1 minute. I watch the seconds tick over. 5:00 p.m. I press send. A small whoosh sound. It is done. I power down my phone. I do not want to hear the explosion. I do not need to. I slip it into my handbag, walk to the curb, and raise my hand. A yellow taxi pulls over immediately, cutting through the rush hour traffic. I open the door and slide in. Where to? The driver asks. I give him the address of a warm, bright restaurant in River North, where my team, my new, loyal, brilliant team, is waiting for me with a table and a bottle of champagne. As the taxi pulls away from the curb, I look back, just once, at the towering glass prison of Thorne Consulting. I know that when I turn my phone on in the morning, the company I built, the company that betrayed me, will be nothing but ashes. Thank you so much for listening to this story. Please let me know where you are listening from in the comments so we can connect, share our thoughts, and get to know each other. I invite you to subscribe to Lily Revenge Stories, like this video, and give it an extra boost by hitting the hype button so this story can be heard by more people.